Good morning, everybody.
What's up, guys? Good to see you. What's up, Tom? You and your space,
Hold on. We got our intro music is just spinning down here. Good morning, everybody. It's April 15th, 2024. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting what? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of DYOR Live here on the, I got no microphone to tap, DYOR Media Network. And as usual, I got my co-host Pedro Garcia in the house. Pedro, what's happening?
What's up, my brother? How is everybody doing? Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Bringing it live here. It's been fun times this weekend watching the markets here getting crazy, all nuts up in this house. Hey, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Guys, can you guys do us a quick favor? Hit that like, sub, and if you don't mind, subscribe button. We really would appreciate that. Also, hit that share button. That share button really helps us out a lot. It brings new guests and people here. And then additionally to that, it also allows people just to be able to get the pertinent information of just even like last Thursday, me saying, hey, I think the market's going to drop here. Expect some type of news to come out over the weekend. The market's looking really heavy here, right? Like we talk about that. So these are things that really help a lot of people out when it comes to just how to gauge the markets and what's actually happening, and just crypto in general, because crypto is like a kitty cat, not like a full-grown cat, but like a little baby cat. It's all over the place. So,
like we said, welcome everybody. Please like, share, comment, and follow. Just do it. Just do it. The most important thing for us, obviously, is watch time. So you sharing your time with us today while we talk about the markets is just wonderful. And thank you to all of everybody watching. We really appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you, Jason and Shireen Spurgis. Only the best in the house. Mr. Darren Lawton coming to us from Madrid. Welcome, Darren. We've got Godwin Agbu. Hey, fams. How you doing? I think, Godwin, you must be posting under a new account. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Oh, that's my post. Space Cat is enjoying 9 degrees Celsius up in Ontario. And Crypto Mike in the house. We don't have your sound effects today because we're in the virtual studio, or we're in the remote studio today, coming to you from Florida. Shout out to, as they say, the moms and the dads watching, especially mine watching today. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh shoot, Mr.
Matt Rhodes, what's happening? What's happening with you? Thank you for joining us. Oh, what else? We got a lot of people in the house today.
That would do, man. It's about to get gangsta up in here, bro.
It's about to get gangster. Anyway, Pedro, what's going on with BTC?
That is a great question. The real question to ask is China going to fall apart? Is Russia going to jump into this war going on in Gaza or wherever? And are we going to have a crypto winter without a crypto summer? That is a good question.
Good question. Good question, Pedro.
And Pedro, I will answer this. I'm speaking to myself in third or fourth person, I believe. Asking myself to answer.
As long as you get good answers from yourself, that's fine.
Yes, I typically do. This is the whole verbal processing guy that I do. I kind of go over stuff, step by step, and try to see what's going to happen in the markets. And as we jump to the markets here, we are literally just a few days away from literally the halving, which is happening on the 19th. Today is tax day. Make sure you guys have gotten your taxes taken care of. But apart from...
And below me right here, Camuso CPA. If you've got any last minute questions about your crypto accounting, get a hold of Patrick at Camuso CPA. He is the expert on crypto accounting.
Truth here. So just to recap real quick. So I believe we were last on Thursday. So it's Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, and Thursday. So I had talked about us basically going through. And can you hear me?
Yeah, everyone can hear your phone ringing.
I have no idea why that thing is going. I don't even know where it's.
That's Telegram ringing.
Is that Telegram ringing? Okay, yeah. That is good to know because I'm like, where is that coming from? Oh, that's why. Okay, we'll jump on that in just a second. All right, so real quick, I want to bring this up because it's real important, okay? We were talking about it here, what was actually happening in the markets and how things were going on. Like I talked about, I expected to see the sell-off here, around here to come down.
Right.
I was talking about there's got to be some news that's got to come out because, and I hated saying it, right? But I not to say that the bombing of the Israeli area, but it
Someone's
just
trying to get a hold of you, Pedro. If you need to deal with that, I'll take it for a minute.
it's just
Anyway, if you can look at Pedro's chart right there, you can see the effect from the Iranian attack on Israel, or failed attack, I should say, on it. As we saw right when the news broke about that, Bitcoin immediately dropped a sizable percentage. This kind of flummoxed me a little bit because Bitcoin lately has been a flight to safety and not something that people immediately dump. Because of bad news. And as in most countries around the world, Bitcoin has been their savior from inflation, from corrupt governments, and from all sorts of things that have been going wrong with their own banking system. So it usually does well on bad news in the markets, but it dumped about 4 or 5%, and hasn't really recovered from it completely. It did go back up after the initial dump. There's plenty of buy orders went in and brought it back up. But I was expecting it to come right back up to the levels that it was at before. And it didn't do that. And so hopefully Pedro and I will be able to get to the bottom of that. As usual, if any of you out there have any insight on that, feel free to bring it up and we can discuss it. I'm gonna mute Pedro.
all right. No, I'm actually good. I'm ready. So that's taken care of. All right. I said, dude, I'm on my show. What are you doing?
He's trying to get a hold of you. Anyway, I was just talking about how the market, or Bitcoin, and especially Ethereum. Ethereum dropped to like a 3,200 or something like that. Bitcoin dropped all the way down to $60,000 during the initial dump, and then pulled back up. And I can't see what we're traded at right now. Normally, I have it over my head in my typical studio here, but don't have that today. What's the current Bitcoin price, Pedro?
So right now, current Bitcoin, as we're sitting at, is 64,000. We didn't fully come down into my area here, but we are selling off. As typical, it went up for the week. So for crypto, our first day is on Sunday. For the week, well, I guess like the rest of commodities. So it goes up, and then now it's definitely starting to sell off here. I'm expecting to come down to the 61,000 to the 60 or 57,000 here. We have my breakout range here, which is sitting in the yellow lines, as you can see, which is sitting at the 73,000 mark and that 59,000 mark. We break below here with real volume. I expect us to come down lower to that 50 or even 40,000 area. I don't think we'll cross below the 100 period moving average here, which is sitting along where my demand zone is, as you can see right here. But in the same end, I do expect to see some type of volatility in this area here. So as we start to sell off, either Michael Saylor or even BlackRock, you can see trying to take advantage of the sell-off. So I don't expect us to see a crypto window step in, but I do expect to see some real buying and selling happening, trying to scare the riffraff, i.e. us.
We're the riffraff. The not riffraff is JP Morgan, BlackRock, Fidelity. There's only about 4 not riffraff, and everyone else they consider riffraff.
That's true. It's the truth. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to steal their positions.
We're their exit liquidity, as you were pointing out before the show.
Yes. So in the same sense, this is what I'm expecting us to sit there and see that 89 to 100 period moving average potentially coming down to that 56. If we do start to see a big sell off, okay, which I'm not that I'm a perma bear. I'm not. But like I expect I'm shocked that we didn't do this. See, over the last 3 halvenings, we've always had a sell off. And so that's why I'm still kind of like, when is that sell off coming? Is it? And here's the thing, if we push up, I'm expected, right? Like, all right, get in when we have pullbacks, right? Like here, it's a good pullback area, right? I talked about this. We also talked about Ethereum, BNB, and later today we'll go over the charts here real quick, and we'll sit there and dude, it hit all of our areas. I mean, one of the things
it did. That's really certainly true.
All the areas that we had that I said, listen, get ready for a pullback to here, get ready for a pullback to here, and sure enough, and we'll go through those here in a minute, or later down the road at the end of the show. But it's just one of those things I think is really important to pay attention to. If we do
welcome Jesus to the show. Jesus coming to us from San Francisco.
What's up, Jesus? How you doing? Oh, Lord, forgive me. Oh, shoot.
Literally.
Space Cat. Literally.
Welcome Space Cat. Yeah, you're right. I don't understand why crypto drops because of bad news. I personally just think it's day traders just trying to take advantage of a situation.
Well,
But
I also
but they moved the market a lot, so there was a lot. I mean, a lot. It takes a lot of money to move BTC 10,000 points or
well,
8,000 points or so.
I bring this up really important because we one of the biggest markets in the whole entire world of crypto is the Middle East. Israel is very much traders of Bitcoin. So is Iran, right? A lot of those people, we have them in our telegrams, right? Always trying to hey, can we work for you? Sorry, we can't. You're on the no, not NoFac. What is it? OFAC? Yeah,
OFAC.
OFAC list. We can't hire you, buddy. I'm
I know.
sorry.
Sorry.
I don't want to go to jail.
We're Americans. We can't hire Iranians, right?
Yeah. But in the same sense, we see them, right? And so there's a huge portion of the populace over there that do trade in the Middle East. So maybe all the civil unwarness there and everything that's kind of going on with BB and the situation going on with a few of the other parties over there, i.e., Hamas, and it's all that to sit there and say, with that instability and bombs coming, maybe they pulled out money in the market, so in case they needed to bounce, they needed cash on the road, right? Needed to get up and go. Maybe that was there. Like they had that in their, they had that in either in a physical form or whatever it be. But it was something that I was thinking or I was toying with that could have happened.
Yep. Well, the question is what's gonna happen with BTC here this week, Pedro? What is the chart telling you?
Well, so we still, when it comes to a long-term trend, we're still up. Okay, so again, I am bullish, but when it comes down to the short-term trend here, I do expect us to see may potentially push up just a little bit more, hit the 8-period moving average that we see right here, and then see it sell off, or we do continually sell off until we get down into this area here, which is sitting at that 61,000 down to the 57,000 area. If this area does get breached, which I really highly doubt, just simply because we have the 89 and 100-day period moving average sitting here at that 56,000, then I would assume that we're going to see major volume step in.
Yeah, I'm trying to, in the background, I don't have all my shortcuts that I normally do. I'm trying to find my ETF flow fund. It looks like Grayscale is still unloading Bitcoin. Money, the flow is still out, net out of Grayscale and into other funds, mainly BlackRock. So there's still sell pressure going on, coming out of Grayscale because they still have those high fees. They still have 2% fees. They haven't lowered them. BlackRock, Fidelity, 21 Shares, Bitwise, all these guys have a 0.25%, or 0.5%, very, very low fees. And we know over time how much just even 1 percentage point can change your earnings by half over 20 to 30 years. And so I still think it's going to be hard for it to come up if Grayscale is unloading these things. I mean, there obviously has to be buyers, but the exchanges could be hoarding them because they're going to need them.
Grayscale's been buying this throughout the whole entire bear market.
Right.
So, I mean, the reality is their cost basis right now is extremely low. And we're talking like probably 20,000, 30,000. So for them, this is nothing but pure profit for them. And then from there, I bet you they're going to probably come with that profit. They're probably developing something much like what BlackRock is doing. And then all of a sudden now you got a tug of war.
Right. Well, here's a good stat here that the Bitcoin assets under management, the amount that all the major funds have grabbed up is $54 billion, and for a total of 836 BTC, which if you remember, there's only 900 of them being made a day, and starting the end of a few days from now, 5 days from now, only 450 Bitcoin are going to be created every day. So the buy pressure, once Grayscale, the money stops coming out of Grayscale, there's going to be a supply issue, and the Bitcoin are going to have to come from somewhere. They don't make these things out of thin air. Well, Take that back. They do make them out of thin air. They make four.
Really?
They're going to start making only 450 of them in the minting process for the miners. And these guys are still buying, 1,000, 2,000 a day. So that's obviously an imbalance, which of course does what? Forces the prices up. As they say, Bitcoin price go up. And I remember this. I forget who it was that was it you that was talking about Bitcoin versus Nasdaq, Bitcoin versus S&P 500, and Bitcoin versus gold.
Yes.
And pick any time, and it's Bitcoin is up 99. No, the Nasdaq is down 99% against Bitcoin.
Yep.
Against the U.S. dollar, 99.9%, and against gold, 99.999%, or something like that. And it's so obviously the money is going to keep coming into Bitcoin here, and for the topic of the show, it's the week ahead. If Israel keeps the lid off of on its military for right now and doesn't telegraph when it's going to strike or if it's going to strike or whatever, I think the Bitcoin market will settle down and have a nice week as we get close to the halving or halvening or whatever you want to say to it.
Well, and I think, as I look at crude oil and seeing what's happening with it, it's one of those things that I have to honestly believe maybe it's probably going to settle down, because as I look at crude oil is selling off, right? We've had this huge push up over the last month and a half, 2 months here, where it went from 77 all the way to $87. And now we saw a topping pattern sitting right here coming up.
Good afternoon, Mayor of Akron Farmer. Thanks for joining us the show, Mr. Farmer. Again, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, Pat, what up, my brother? It's good to see Pat up in the house. One of my trading buddies there. Dude, Doc's in the house. What's up, Doc?
Crypto Doc, we don't have your sound effect today. We're on a temporary studio, so I don't have that hooked up. We're going to be working on it. But what is up, DYOR Media? Thank you very much for joining us. I think Crypto Mike says any word on the ETH ETFs yet. The only word that I've heard is Hong Kong just approved ETH spot and ETFs and a couple other things too. So the Chinese government's pushing Hong Kong to be faster on getting out new products in order to keep the money from flowing into the U.S.
Isn't that crazy?
And stay over in Asia.
I think that's nuts that China has literally come out and said, with a crippling economy and an implosion of their population and everything that's going on.
Like the real estate market.
And the real estate imploding on itself as well, dude. It's nuts. They're like, listen, it was a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. Remember, they were talking about completely shutting down all of crypto and not allowing it in their country. Now it's again, and that's happened a couple times in crypto, but now they're just like, dude, open up the floodgates and get in there, get it. Like, and I'm just like, wow, man, that's a huge indicating factor of saying, dude, like, crypto is real. I honestly could see ETH and everything else opening up as ETFs coming out of Hong Kong. I could totally see that.
Well, the Chinese, they've obviously been pushing, in theory, crypto has been banned in mainland China, but you can tell, even the miners can tell that 20% of the mining capacity still comes out of China. And Hong Kong is basically being the the proxy for China in much of the crypto world. And the fact that they've got these new products coming out while Gary Gensler's still hemming and hawing on these types of things, is indicative that the U.S. is dragging their feet and China is trying to take advantage of that, which is easy to do when we don't do anything. Patrick, are we charting here? Yes, we are charting here. Will the Japanese get some ETFs too, since their currency is an all-time low? Yes, I think they will, because Japan just recently changed their rules. When the Mt. Gox exchange in Japan got hacked and everyone lost their money, they put draconian rules on crypto so that wouldn't happen to people. Not in the terms of fraud, but in terms of consumer protection, so people don't lose their money so fast again. However, Japan has realized that they were behind, even further behind than the U.S. In the crypto markets. And so they've been tweaking their rules actively in order for exchanges to open back up. So there can be a proper yen stablecoin and that type of thing. So I think all of that will lead to ETFs in Japan as well.
You know what I find funny though? Like, here's the thing. Like, the governments, they all know, like, dang it, we missed the boat here, right? Like they get it. Like, dude, it's like, oh shoot. Yet there's like half of their population have already put, BTC in private wallets or on, trust wallet somewhere where they're just like, lockdown. I don't know nothing here. What's going on? What's going on? I mean, literally, I think it's really, I just find it funny because it's like, because the nature of crypto is it's trustless. I don't need to go through central exchanges. I don't need to go through normal. So I can go in there and basically be bankless, right? Like I don't, and so I think that's just hilarious. I find it awesome, absolutely awesome.
All right, I'm going to take this moment to talk a little bit about our sponsors here. Let's see if I can do this correctly. There we go. Pedro, I'm going to drop you off for a second here. As always, I want to take some time to thank the sponsors. Sorry, I'm a little behind this as I try and get the labels right. Thank our sponsors of our show here, and I wouldn't be able to do this show. Oh, that's not the right button. Let's try this one. That one will work. Without Audit Chain. Audit Chain is launching, as you've heard me talk before, they're launching as soon as possible here. They're trying to get out in this reporting cycle for their Pacioli validating software. And their software is a software release coming out in which you run it and you are able to validate the integrity of financial statements that public companies or other private companies that have to report publicly for various reasons to the Edgar database in the US, to EMSA in Europe, and into 60 jurisdictions around the world. 60 jurisdictions with 100 reporting bodies. Pacioli will be able to validate all of those things. And if you're a short seller that wants information faster, if you're an accountant or an auditor that wants to be able to look through financial statements quickly and get the results of where they've made mistakes, Pacioli is for you. And if you're interested in running their software, let me know and I'll put you in touch with their sales team for that. And of course, it uses the Audit Chain token as gas, which is a Matic-based token. And if you're interested in that, head over to pacioli.ai. Also, we couldn't do. We want to make a shout out to the DeFi Dojo here. Hold on, let's get the DeFi Dojo. I'm sharing my screen kind of awkwardly here, but it's working. The DeFi Dojo in the house. Well, look at that. It didn't do that. Oh, Thomas. Why doesn't it just come right up? DeFi Dojo, where crypto mastery meets community valor. You gotta like that, right? So here we go. Welcome to the DeFi Dojo, and of course the door is open and closed for that. Thank you to JBee and Ariane over at the dojo. I think I have their brand up here as well. But a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we had there we go. We had our DeFi Dojo segment, which was interviews powered by DeFi Dojo and their AMA series. If you have a crypto project and are looking for an AMA and to get KYC'd via Assure DeFi, they can present a package to you that gets you on a bunch of different AMA Telegram channels, X Spaces, and of course this show as well. And as you know, it's a requirement if you're on the show to be KYC'd somewhere, either to me personally, to Pedro and I, or to a service, or appear on camera. So go see them. And of course, it's time for, let's get rid of this one. And let's bring up our newest sponsor, our World. I tried to have all these World of Rewards. Let's see if we can get this right. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, the World of Rewards. And usually, Bruno, I've got your sound effect in there, but I'm on the temporary studio, so I don't have it. This segment, our token reward sponsor, as I say, powered by worldofrewards.finance. If you're interested in earning rewards on small cap tokens and being exposed to a whole group of good projects that have been vetted so that they're not rug pulls or honeypots, have good communities, you go over and head over to the worldofrewards.finance. head over to their Telegram. Their links are all on their website here. But I'm going to take a little moment to see how my rewards are doing. Oh, I can't connect my wallet on this screen. I forgot I'm on a laptop. Let's see if I can bring it up in the background here. No, I can't share that screen. Anyway, while Pedro's given his next segment, I'll connect to my wallet and show everybody the rewards here. But basically what goes on is when you buy the World of Rewards token, you can invest in all of the, you can select to get rewards in any of their pools of tokens. And over here you can see Shell token, the World of Rewards token, and Baby Bull Run token, and a number of others from Stag, Coffeearium, Safety Gens, then the DPS Mafia token. And what these do is if you have a small project and want new holders, this gets you new holders and gets you new eyeballs on your projects. And so it works for both developers that are bringing new projects in, and it works for you to get exposed to new things. So that's a World of Rewards, and later in the show I'll get connected to my wallet. As we all know, I'm quite famous for whenever I switch studios, is I don't always have it exactly right. Always have a few bugs. Anyway, Pedro, bringing you back to the house here.
Hey guys, how you doing? Jumping back to what you're almost saying about World of Rewards, it's one of those things that I think for a micro coin, if you're really trying to get some eyeballs and just I think that's a great way. I wish they would have had that in the past bull runs, because I think there were some really good projects that failed literally because they just didn't. They weren't able to capitalize on the marketing money, and I think that's a good little. And as the network keeps growing and maturing, I think it's going to be a good thing for a lot of the micro coins and just seeing bull runs. So, I mean, I'll put it like this: that BlackRock with their bull chain, as they have their division in the meme, as me and Tom were talking about this meme chain or meme coins industry, they're going to be looking at little places like that, just sitting there saying, hey, this is a good project. Yeah, man, let's drop, $1 million, $2 million in this, which is basically like spit money, so, it's going to be really interesting to see what we actually see happen here.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wanted to bring up, where is that? Where is that?
Pat.
Power to the people. Site. All right, hold on. I'm going to bring up one other thing here. There's to the people site. There's a. Let me see if I can bring this up correctly. All right, so there's some news coming out of the Operation Phoenix group here. As you know, we talk about Operation Phoenix a lot. Friends of mine, DeFi Sean and Squidrow Joe, started their Operation Phoenix, trying to gather the old SafeMoon community and bring it back into a proper project. And they've brought out some new topics. I can't go into everything that they brought out, but they partnered with DeFi Mark, as we know, it used to be SafeMoon Mark, to bring them new things. And one of the things they now have is, hold on, let me get the link just right here from Sean. You know what? I'm not gonna try it. But they launched a new DEX, which is called a new DEX and Launchpad, which is called Infinity Swap, and they're having their first project launched on the Infinity Launchpad, and that's this one behind me. Power to the People. Power to the People is a crypto token. I'm going to read it here from the developer. No, he's not paying me for this or anything like that. But I've been following Operation Phoenix for a while, and they do good stuff. So I wanted to let everyone know that their new DEX and Launchpad is going to be in use. And this project, Power to the People, is in pre-sale. April 22nd is going to be the launch on the, as Sean says, on the Infinity Launchpad. The Power to the People token is a revolutionary grant platform designed to put power directly in the hands of the people, enabling them to support initiatives, projects, and causes that promote empowerment, sustainment, and global scale. As we all know, it's still a meme coin, or not a meme coin, it's still a brand new token. Remember, the show is called DYOR for a reason, so do your own research on these things. Do not listen to Pedro and I for investment advice whatsoever. And the pre-sale, as the developer says, is open the 15th and it closes on the 21st, and the launch is the 22nd. So hopefully, I wish them well, because I really want my friends at Operation Phoenix and Infinity Swap for their new project to do well, because I am invested in that project. Anyway,
yeah.
power to the people.site is what it is.
Most stuff. Go check those guys out. I think they're trying to do good work in the crypto space, especially the micro coins. And I think it's one of those things that, kind of like Vetter or a couple of the other places, just having eyeballs on your project, apart from what you're trying to do, it's like money working for you while you sleep, right? I think you could wake up, if you're a dev of a project, and realize, oh shoot, I just got a whale that jumped in. That's cool. Right. So it's just one of those things you could check out. When it comes down to the markets at large, and I mean like crude oil or something like that, these, it's not going to be affected by little things like that. But what's important though is that the eyes are on crude oil, and we're starting to see a bit of a sell-off with crude oil here. I think that's important to understand, because how far can we see this thing drop to and then see it reverse back? So by me looking at this price point, I honestly
what chart is that? Is that the daily chart?
No, this is the monthly chart.
Okay.
On crude oil. So we hit a weak area here. This is a weak supply area, and the next portion of it, and potentially we could see this happen in the summertime, get up to 101, 100 to 100 to 101 come summertime, if this situation in Israel starts to get really kind of crazy. And if we do see that, then expect us to see a push, which we then would see a less amount of money going into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency during this bull run into the summer days. So it's going to be something that's going to be really important to pay attention to.
Jesus is mentioning that in the San Francisco area, gas is $6 a gallon.
Good.
Also remember that the gas price, while it does track crude oil, it mostly tracks refining capability and capacities. Yep. And in California, like Illinois, is entering the season in which they have special gas that favors a few refineries, in which they can extract a lot more tax out of for their summer gas. It's really just a joke, since now cars have computers and can run better based on the temperature, humidity, and all that type of stuff. We don't need to have special summer gas anymore for $1 zillion. But in refining capacity, in the spread between refining capacity and gasoline and oil is called the crack spread, because the process of breaking down oil is called cracking it. And that crack spread is probably pretty interesting right now. Pedro, your crude oil day trader friends are probably familiar with that. That was one of the crazy ones that I used to have to run orders for in the commodities exchange in New York, because you'd have to be lightning fast, and you'd have to run the oil order over to the guy in the oil pit, and then you'd have to run the gas order over to the guy in the gas pit. And sometimes and there's two gas pits. There was natural gas and there was gasoline. And I'd look at it and I'd be like, wrong pit! Ah! This skinny little 18-year-old running guy.
Those were the days, man. Speaking of the pits, we were talking about what's happening with BlackRock, right? And what's happening there with their Ethereum blockchain. And we were talking about how, with crypto, or with traditional markets now, you used to be able to sit there, and this is when you were in the pits, where you would be able to sit there and notice Goldman Sachs guy coming down looking to buy orders, right? And you knew once he started buying, that meant that a big portion of the market was going to start to move, right? So you were able to front run him quite a bit.
Well, I wasn't, but there were certain traders. Remember I was telling you about the traders that would just stare at the big fat guy?
Yep.
And wait for as soon as they start to see his arm move, they try to guess whether he's buying or selling, and front run him. And sometimes they were successful, and sometimes not.
And I think it's important to understand that once we went digital and then trading became a online situation, a lot of that got missed. And so
Right.
one of the things, or it just went away, kind of like just, out of the evolution of trading on computers. Now, it's really interesting that in crypto, we can see orders being placed. Like, it's very clear. We follow the blockchain. We're sitting there able to watch it. And right now, BlackRock, and I've mentioned this multiple times, crypto does not have a big enough funnel to onload the institutional bankers and institutional money coming in. It would just have a too small of
Well, yeah, we
funnel
don't have the. I mean, crypto is big, but we don't
capacity.
have the liquidity. I mean, just like I said, that the ETF's only at $54 billion under management. The total market cap of crypto is $2.5 trillion now.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
and that's
BlackRock
one
has
stock.
$10 trillion itself under assets under management.
Yeah, and then when you consider like everything is they're going to be tokenized. So the fact that it's 3 trillion, and if you look at the world, and when I mean everything, I mean real estate, stocks, commodities, everything. We're talking that's probably $200 trillion economy with the whole entire thing. And I think it's all going to be digitized coming here because it's just more efficient. And BlackRock has come through and literally set up their own blockchain on the Ethereum network. And I talked about this last week,
Right.
but I think bears to mention again because of it's just not being talked a lot right now. People don't really get the size and
What was the
importance.
name of it? Buildle?
Build or
Like
built? Oh, dude, I sent it. Did I send it to you? My
you sent me a link to Chat GPT, but not to your results. So it was just to the homepage.
yeah. Let me give me a second. My PC
Well,
shut.
if you guys remember me talking about J.P. Morgan earlier in the year in their internal Onyx system. It's an Ethereum fork. It's fully permissioned, and J.P. Morgan uses it inside their company to move money and assets around between branches, and then they expanded it to their other banks that they have daily operations with, and also to major institutional investors. And so they've tokenized $1 trillion worth of bonds, foreign currency, U.S. dollar, treasuries, and that type of stuff, and they move them around inside the whole J.P. Morgan system. And if I can go back and find the show, I'll go into my AI assistant in our Telegram room and find out when I said this. But I said it won't be long before they want to build a bridge to the real world. And just last week or 2 weeks ago, we heard about J.P. Morgan dropping $100 million in an Ethereum wallet. I think it was in USDC that they bought.
Yep.
And the meme going around the internet then that day was, J.P. Morgan drops 100 million in and tries to buy $80 million worth of Ethereum, but the gas for it is 30 million, so they don't have enough money, not enough money for gas on Ethereum because obviously Ethereum's fees are so high. But I said, and Pedro and I talked about it, we're like, this is going to be something big of what they do. And Pedro's just letting us know. Did you find what we were looking for?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, put
Yeah.
it
And
up on
so,
your screen.
yeah. And so I'll bring this up here real quick. This is on Copilot here. I'm just gonna have you guys check it out here. One day, shoot, for us to bring Copilot on, we're gonna have to get paid, or we're gonna have to pay him.
Right.
But how's it right now? So basically, this is you can see the actual fund itself is called BUILD or BUIDL, excuse me. And it is basically a money market fund that pays 4 to 5%, and it basically transacts where it buys treasury notes, short term, and it just pays their investors who buy this $1 or not, excuse me, not $1, yield of X amount of money. The token itself that is built within this fund, because that's a tokenized fund,
Right.
it pays a dividend. It is not a reward. It is not a staking amount. It is not that you are
Oh, it was
receiving a
It's
dividend.
BlackRock. I correct myself. I was saying J.P. Morgan earlier, but
Oh
we were
shoot, you
talking
did.
about BlackRock, right?
Yeah. And so in the same sense, right now they've built a system where they can come in and they can onload their friends, and or their friends can sit there and see what they're doing. When I say friends, it's more like frenemies. But they can sit there and create on systems where they can tokenize real estate. They can tokenize gold transactions, things like that that need to happen instantly within 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, 24 hours, 24/7. It's this right here. And it's basically just transfers. Investors can transfer their tokens 24/7, 365 days a week. And additionally to that, the settlement is instantaneous instead of having to wait 3 to 5 business days, unlike Swift. Now, Swift has tried to step in and really try to update their system, but they just have been, they're a little too.
There's
I think
absolutely going to smoke Swift on this. Just
yes.
it won't even be sort of even close.
But here's the thing: Swift itself is going to go through. Is they're creating a CBDC system where the CBDCs can flow and interact within the sea of, what's the word I want to use? Or CBDC will be able to swim in the ocean of Swift.
DeFi. Yeah, and DeFi too.
Yes, yes. Well, I think what's going to happen is they're not going to allow it. They're going to try to shut it down and be like, no, you cannot interact either with BlackRock system and or the CBDC system or Swift system. I think for a minute, I think there's going to be a real war there because they're going to fight against it, and it's going to be really interesting. I think BlackRock is positioned, and this sounds crazy, like conspiracy theories, stupid, but because of what they've done, and them actually going through and setting up their own blockchain on Ethereum instead of waiting for Swift to kick in, either it's going to be a rope-a-dope where they're actually going to take out Ethereum, or they're going to play both sides as much as possible, and then are going to have to switch to the Swift system, because the government's going to sit there and say you can't play both. It's
right.
like playing both sides of the war.
Here I'm going to bring on my screen here. I've got an article from DL News talking about the amount of money that is already pouring into this fund. And that they're allowing withdrawals on profits in USDC right into your main brokerage account. But one of the things they talk about is being able to tokenize. I'm just going to read this. Since the lending often happens in transactions that occur literally overnight, we're talking about the big lending and counterparty loans between financial groups and organizations like that, because they don't really actually move money around. It's mostly just counterparty loans and agreements. Automating this process and codifying the terms of the debt and underlying smart contracts could make more bonds available for use in this way. And I'm just reading you this gibberish because the number down here is astounding. The report found that $19 trillion worth of collateral is trapped in these short-term loans. 19 trillion, and if BlackRock can tokenize that,
dude,
they can tokenize that. Then they can trade it, and you and I can trade it as well, and buy, invest in, and play the interest rate market on that. In which these guys, they spend there's so many trading desks in these houses that deal with interest rate swaps, betting on interest rates, insurance, that type of stuff. That if they can tokenize $19 trillion worth of short-term loans, it's the equivalent of tokenizing all of the U.S. Treasuries that get issued every year. I mean, it's amazing. That's where you see it. They don't see the market as, oh, maybe Ethereum will go up in price, so we'll invest in it.
Yeah.
They say, how do we get more trillions?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna quote Dragon Ball Z here. When it comes to, so its ETF will bring crypto to the Main Street financial sector and slowly grow the entire crypto space, but it won't be overnight, and they will try to shake out as many retail investors along the way. Yes and no. I'll put it like this. I honestly think that the ETF system is like trying to put horses in front of a Ferrari and dragging a Ferrari with the horsepower. It's just an old antiquated system. Not that it's good or bad. It's just they're trying to fit something in. Whereas BlackRock has literally sat there and said, this is silly. We're going to do this because we have to play by certain rules. But the reality is we got to create we need to create a secondary market, has its own blockchain, and we're going to use the existing awesome technology And as they bring money in, I think they're going to literally steal. I mean, if I could work with BlackRock, man, give them ideas and say, hey, look, you guys want to reach the rest of the world. This is what you need to do, right? And and just advise them like, don't screw the rest of the world over, because you have a great opportunity here to have such a broad base of liquidity that everybody gets fat and happy, versus sitting there. Because the reality is if you sit there and you take your liquidity and you put it at a low level, you'll always have a low basis and it'll be volatility. But you can broaden the liquidity, and you can and then you can constrict the liquidity based off what you're trying to do, and you can make money. And here's the
Sure.
thing: crypto doesn't mind that, whereas the rest of the world will sit there and go, what are you doing? No, bro, you got so many degens. They're like, yeah, let's ride this wave, dude. Come on, let's
No.
play. So I think it's going to be real interesting to see how this interacts with crypto and crypto at large, degens, and I think we were talking about this earlier. We've mentioned it, but we were talking about this off camera here. The idea of the meme coins, and like I think you said 60% of the liquidity, or 60% of transactions literally are
Yeah,
meme
and
coin
I
transactions.
think I have to clarify the statement. I think I need to use the word user initiated transactions, because there's lots of smart contract initiated transactions. There's lots of smart contracts that will like Matic has bazillions of transactions on them, but most of them are not users doing it. They're smart contracts. So user initiated transactions, it's like a majority of them are meme coins. And as I'm going to repeat again for everybody out there, I have many shows in the vault here that we rail against meme coins and say if they're worthless, don't invest your money in worthless things, and it's a zero-sum game. For every dollar that someone wins a dollar, you lose a dollar. But we've seen the marketing power, and a meme coin used to market a level 1 chain or a level 2 chain or whatever it is money that you cannot possibly spend enough money in your own money in marketing that matches even just one decent meme coin on your chain.
It's
just
true,
it's impossible.
dude.
So I've made the full circle on that, and I'll repeat it for these new people.
Yeah, dude. Imagine this, and I think this is to crack me up, right? Imagine if BlackRock opens up their chain to meme coins. I mean, it would be stupid for them not to, right? Like, and I would, dude. I would open up just to be able to sit there and say,
You see
I
Larry Fink going over the reports for the day. Well, we got another $60 billion in our 401k fund remittances today, and we made $17 billion in loan swaps. And holy jeez, and shit butt in you, we've made $20 billion. And we
in
got
4 days.
and we got rug pulled.
Dude, you're
That's the
talking.
difference. The difference of the old
I know.
having been exposed to the traditional finance guys a long time ago, and now the crypto guys. The difference is monumental.
Dado Lawton says, I'm quoting. Yes, I think I am quoting you, because we've talked about this a couple times, and
Yes.
this cannot be talked about enough. I don't think the rest of the crypto actually understands what's happening with BlackRock and what they're doing. The fact is that they will pay you dividends. Dividends. I give you
Right.
my money. You're going to pay me 5% annually, 4% annually. And it's based off of transaction fees, right? Plus, they're going to make money from treasuries. So you're talking that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So, Mr. Lawton, yes, I agree with you. Like 100%, man. Like that is such a big deal. Um, Jumping back to the charts here real quick. So I do
Yeah,
want to.
Pedro, we're getting a little long in the
Yeah,
tooth today. We got to do a shorter
yeah,
show because
yeah, yeah.
technically this is vacation for me. But
Oh
in the
yes,
spirit of the week ahead stuff, what's coming up this week? Let's hit the major ones.
yeah,
Somebody was mentioning that ETH is a screaming buy right now. Let's hit the ETH chart,
yeah,
BNB, and the major ones before we run
yeah.
off here.
Definitely. So I want to bring this up here real quick. Again, I'm still long term when it comes to ETH, but we did hit our area down at that 3100 to the 30 or 3100 to 3036. area. We came down here, down at these levels. This thing actually came all the way down to 2,800.
Look at that. He's right. That is a screaming buy opportunity
Yeah.
right there.
So that's a nice little area. And additionally to that, I want to bring this up here, though. I am more bearish on this because we are starting to see the 8-period moving average really starting to pick up steam here as we came up this morning. Now we're seeing a sell-off. So I would expect us to maybe even see us go even a little bit further to, dare I say, 2,400, because there's nothing else here until we get down to these lower levels. So
people
I'm
are going to
saying
hate you if that happens.
They ain't gonna hate me. That's a buy opportunity. So don't hate the messenger. Buy what the messenger says. You know.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But actually, I'm not telling you to buy. This is all financial.
I'm going to run that banner right now. Not financial advice, for its entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, education, entertainment purposes only. But as you guys can see here, that's 2,400, 2,200 area. It's a nice little area. It was came down, consolidated, and then it screamed up. So I could see it's coming back down to here, playing with also that 2,500 area, because that's where the 400-day period moving average is. And this is up here where we see a lot of the higher time frame SMA 8, which is sitting around that 2,500 area, as well as the weekly playing in the same area. Now we came and tested this here, but this is starting to show a little bit of weakness on that 20-period moving average as we come down. Let's check out BNB here. BNB actually held really strong, which I was really impressed with. We did see a bit of a sell-off where we came down and hit that 50-period moving average, but I'm really hoping, I mean, in all honesty, to see this come down to that 1413, the 413 to the 397 area, playing. And I'm looking, like, for me, I'm personally a buyer around the 444 area to about the 390 area, just simply because I think this is a good area for it to pull back to. In addition to that, we also could pull back down even further down into the 350 area. So this is kind of like where I'm sitting at from a whole.
Well, finance is driven by not just the charts; it's driven by the news. And their new CEO is, frankly, doing a bang-up job. You haven't heard, really any bad news about Binance since CZ was replaced with the new guy.
Yep.
And sorry, the new guy, I can't remember your name.
One day we'll have him on here.
Love for you to be on the show, right? But as long as they keep going and they're getting their approvals, they're settling all of their lawsuits around the world. They're still the biggest exchange. Binance is still the hugest mega exchange. I can't remember the word I'm looking for. But Pedro, if you recall, they're one of the top holders of Bitcoin in the world too. So they've got assets, and their assets, the term we use is the infinite money printing machine. They have assets that gain amazing value that allows them to buy more of those assets that just keep gaining value. So it's the infinite money. Like Michael Saylor's company with MicroStrategy. Just he sells parts of his company, he buys more Bitcoin. The value of his company goes up, of his shares go up. He buys more, he sells more. It's just a circle that one day he's going to get down and hold. He's going to hold one share of that company, and that one share will be worth trillions of dollars.
That would do that. It's so interesting to sit there and see. Jumping back here, so this is BNB for the perpetual contract. You can see here that it hit our area almost exact. So this is the area that we were looking for again. But I do expect to see, if we continue down in these lower levels, I expect us to keep going here. Let's check out XRP. XRP actually shot through my area here and finding a little resistance here.
Yeah, what happened with XRP and Stellar?
That is, I don't know. I mean, Stellar, we actually we're geniuses on Stellar, but the reality is I just think it was an opportunity for them to just sell off there was some obviously news, but I think the news allowed them to be able to just either sell off, or maybe some people in the Middle East sold off to go into cash, right? So that in case something was to happen. But I really don't.
That's a good point. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if I can come up with any news stories about.
We'll come back to you. Look up the news story. I'm going to keep going through these charts here real quick.
All right.
But I do expect to see XRP. If we do continue selling, I want to see it down at these 32. I'm personally a buyer with XRP at that 30-cent area. The secondary area, 30, 32 to 30. To me, that seems like a reasonable area for me to be buying XRP. If not even a little bit further down at these lower levels here. Let's check ADA. Now, ADA hit our area, man, which was pretty hot. They hit our supply area right here for Cardano, and you can see that that self is pretty good. I'm looking to be buying at these lower levels here. So I'm waiting to see a test. If we do see the 8 period keep continuing down, if we consolidate right here at our demand zone, sitting between the 47 cent area down to that 34 cent area, and then the other one is sitting at that 22 to 23 area. So this area is it's hot for me. Like this is sexy money right here, because we're now coming back lower than what we were supposed. Like remember, I expected us to hit this and come down to this lower level, but now you can see here we came up in the supply area, which is perfect, and then now we're selling off. So this area here is a hot area for me. I think anywhere around here, personally for me, is a good buy, right? Because this preps us now for the next leg up, which is going to be up at that 176, 164 area for Cardano, right? So it's
Yeah,
really nice.
Chuck would be happy if that he's, as they say, he
Yeah,
likes to say he's still long on Cardano there.
dude. I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, I think it's smart to be, these top. There's a lot of money going in, and again, I think as BTC keeps getting going, and we're coming up to this happening, we start to see it push up. It's just again that money will transfer out of BTC into Cardano on the top, 20, 30 coins out there. Let's check.
Quickly, Neo Wick, like war impacts price, but how much can we expect? But let's just remember everything. During every major war that the United States has been in, or the UK, or for that matter, much of the rest of the world, their markets have stayed open. The stock
Yeah.
market traded during World War II, during World War One. And frankly, as soon as those conflicts even sort of came to a conclusion, uh, good things happened. There were lots of bull markets. Neowick, thanks for joining us on Twitch. A shout out to everybody
Definitely.
watching on Twitch today. Remember, if you're a multitasker and you're watching on your device or your phone, and watching us on YouTube, when you put us in the background, it shuts off the audio because YouTube wants people to pay for that feature. We simulcast this over to Twitch just so you can put us in the background while you're multitasking on your device, or trying to hide that you are listening to us from your boss when you should be on their Slack app or something like that.
I want to, dude. First of all, shout out to Chuck, bro. Dude. Doctor, 77 cents, perfect, man. Right at the supply level, man. And honestly, I like these levels here. I think 44 area is a good area. Also down at these, also 24. So I think the 40 to 20 cent area is a nice area, simply because you can dollar cost average it. Obviously, like I remember we talked about a few of the projects. You put in, first you'll put in 40%, right? And then, but I'm looking to put the majority of my stuff down at that 33
Chuck, that
cent.
was a great sell, selling it at
Oh,
77 cents. That was that was perfectly timed. And now you can reload and have 75% more tokens.
oh shoot, Israel. What's up, Teo? How you? Glad to have you two here, man.
Yeah, thanks for joining our show. Really appreciate it,
Yeah,
everybody. Shout out to the community. A smaller show today.
yeah,
We've not one of our larger shows. Mondays are usually all tough
yeah.
for us
Can't believe
on
it.
viewers. But thanks to everybody that's come in on YouTube, Twitch,
Yeah. Oh, do me a favor,
and
guys. We do have
LinkedIn
quite a
today.
few. We do have quite a few new guys here. Please hit that like, sub if you don't mind, and also share button. We really would appreciate that. That'd be a big deal for us. Big deal. So, thank you so much for that. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, Mondays are typically a little bit shy for us, so it's
Yep, and Pedro, we're coming to that
yeah,
time, the end of the show here. Is there any last charts you need to get through here
yeah.
today? We
I got
didn't. Sorry, everybody, we didn't get to all your favorite projects today. We're going to have short shows while I'm broadcasting here from Florida because I need to take advantage of the good weather because I haven't had any in a long time. Going to play a little golf. Played a little yesterday with my mom, and I did a lot better than I expected and helped her out a little bit too. So that was fun, and I'm going to play with my father-in-law soon too. So looking forward to that, and of course hitting the beach with Mrs. Striking is always fun here too. Florida has nice beaches, as almost all of you know.
oh, gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna finish this off. Let's just check this out here. Okay, so when it comes to Dogecoin, we had a nice little sell-off over the weekend as well. I did I did change this up a little because our area was right in this area for my supply or for my demand area. I actually dropped it a little bit lower for the demand. I like that 11 cent 75 area to the 11 cent 68 area. I like this area. It's a monthly demand zone, so I can see it's coming down and tapping it. Again, we came down to that 89 to 100 period moving average area. So we're sitting here. Um, we'll see what happens. I do think that we will continue lower down into these lower levels here with Dogecoin. Let's tap here into Solana. Solana came through. So originally, I used this as an area for us to wait, right? I didn't know if we were going to continue higher. So I said we should see a bounce off of this area here, which we did. So we saw a bounce, but as you can see, as the market's now starting to sell off, we're coming down. So I'm going to delete some of these here. Let's go ahead and hit this here real quick because
As Jesus says, just tap it in. Tap, tap,
tap,
tap.
tap,
Our Happy
tap it.
Gilmore reference.
Yep. So you guys can see here, if down at these lower levels, I do like this monthly area right here. Um, let me tap this. So we came in, we bounced off these couple areas that I've talked about here, but now we did sell through them. So the next spot for me on Solana is coming down to this 94, down to that 90 or to that 70, like 92 ish, to the 79 area here. It's 10-point area. I know it's a lot, but this area right here is a nice area to be looking
Wait,
at.
what did Solana drop to?
Yeah, Solana went from 200 down to about 140, and
Wow.
over the weekend went to 160. I do expect us to see another drop. Now it all depends if we're able to close below the 189 area. If we can come
Right.
down to this lower area, I this is a gem of a spot. You're talking almost a 60% cut right here where you can get in and then wait for the next push up, which is going to be that 5259 area as we come into the bull
I
market.
hope Crypto Lifer and Ran closed some of their Solana positions. Crypto Lifer famously put $100,000 into Solana at 100, and it immediately went to 220. I mean,
Oh
talking
yeah.
about easy money. I
Oh
hope
yeah.
he
Well,
took it.
wow.
I hope he obeyed his own advice and took profits.
Oh yeah, he'd be silly not to. I mean, I know as soon as the war came on, he was immediately glued to his thing. Once we broke through this support area of the 162, he would have been out. He would have been out of his position and then waiting for a
Right.
re-entry, which probably he got in around probably around the 120 area. So it all depends on if we see major sell volume coming today and tomorrow. I would expect it to come back down to that 92 to 79 area mark. And plus, you have a 400-day period average, which is a weekly zone and a monthly 8 period moving average. So let's check out Litecoin here. Now, Litecoin hit our area here, which is
It's
the
the only token that didn't tank in the past. Oh, it did. No,
yeah,
never mind.
yeah. All right. No, it's okay. But here's the thing: it hit our area, it sold off. Now I'm expecting now we're already hitting that 400 period moving average on it, and I can already see that we've actually had more sellers than buyers. So I expect to
Yep.
see us get through this 74 area, and honestly tap into this 50. Now $50 for Lycon I think is a steal. $50, $40, and that $30 area. So I'm definitely a buyer into these lower levels, even at the subconscious level here of that 57 area here, just because I think it could jump all the way back up into the next level, which is going to be that 143, 142 area. And so you can literally get a 2 to 3x on a large coin as we come into the Bitcoin halvening. Now let's check out here real quick. TRX. TRX right here, it did saw a pretty good sell-off. Tron came down. Dude, like I said, I want to see us come down into the 9 cent area, 8 cent area, so I can go in and I can buy in at these lower levels. This is definitely starting to round over. We're already seeing the 50 period move average. If we see the 50 period moving average and the 100-day period moving average cross, then I do expect to see another sell off when it comes to that. So that's why I'm looking already for the 9 cent, 8 cent area here on Tron. Let's check out Matic here. Matic is looking sexy. It came down all the way down to our lower levels here, which is basically that 57, 51 area here. It did bust out of this
Wow,
range.
I can't. I don't understand some of these correlations. Why Matic would dump on news of war. Yeah, I don't understand the correlation to that, and I probably never will.
Well, it just has
It
to
doesn't
do
make
with,
any sense. The level 2 chain has no connection to any of that whatsoever.
well, okay, but we also need to say who's buying and who's selling Matic. Much of the Middle East like Matic. I mean,
Yeah,
Poly was a
that's true.
huge push. So this is
Yeah.
just simply profit taking so that in case stuff hits the fan, they're in cash, right? So this is them just being smart. And again, this is a level 2 strong system. So for me personally, I'm a buyer at that 57, 51 area and into the 31, 30 area here. If we start to come down and start to see a push, we can already see that that weekly A is really starting to come down here. So I expect to see some sell off again down into these lower levels. Most likely, we're gonna if we cut through this area here, if we come down to this lower area, we should see it cut through into honestly that 57 and potentially down to that 31 cent. So this area here I think is good. And then
If
as
it goes down to
the
31 cents, all hell's gonna break loose because all
no
that the whole
buyers,
Matic ecosystem will fall apart. Because
no, it will not. People will buy it.
no, but they're all relying on their liquidity pools that they created up at around $1 or 70 cents or something like that. If it goes down to 31 cents, their entire ecosystem is worth 70% less.
You know who will buy it? BlackRock. If this thing comes
That's a
down
good
here
point.
and people sell off, this is this is a no-brainer. Like for me, like it was funny. I saw Wendy O talking about y'all are crying about the bleed off, but y'all should be buying. Like stop
Yeah,
crying and start
remember
buying.
though. Remember, BlackRock's not here to make a little money on Matic. They're here to make trillions.
Yes, but you know what they'll do is they'll buy in.
Welcome Juan Diego Castillo Bochetti.
Bochetti. Oh, dude, I love that name. Diego Castillo Bochetti. Are you Italian? Are you
It's a
Latin?
long name there. Chuck says Pedro talks about sweet opportunities. Pedro, we got to get rolling here
All right, all
today.
right. All right, let's check.
Everyone, thanks for joining us today. As they say, we had a good show today. Pedro got some.
Let me finish off. Let me finish off.
I thought you
Three
were
more.
finished with it all,
No, I still got 3 more, bro.
bro.
All right, let's talk about that. We're doing the top 10. We're doing the top 10, bro. Here you guys go. Here we go. So we sold off on
Let's make them
Dot
fast.
here. All right. Sold off on Dot here, and then we came down to our area here of the $6.05 area. We sold off pretty strong here. So I'm expecting Dot to come back down to that 4 area here. That's going to be 533 to 483 area. Right now it's in about that $6 mark. And we're seeing volume. We're seeing sells pick up here. So I'd expect to see another sell off here. AVAX sold right through our area and actually sold off, came back, retested, and now it's continuing. So AVAX came from $48, 50, 65 at his peak. But I could see AVAX honestly coming back down and legitly at $11. If we come down to this $11 mark, potentially 11 or $20 area. So this is one of those ones that if this thing starts to sell off, look, like this is just a good deal because we're coming. This could be the sell-off that we needed when it comes to the market at large, because it's really important to understand that this sell-off is the one that's prior before the halvening. Okay, so it's cool that like this is that opportunity. So, and I'm going to point this out here real quick. Come on. So, and that is going to be a 21 to 20 area. We got Shiba Inu, Shibaru. We have Taylor Swift, aka Swifties here. This was a beautiful area. This is a great trade for us. It came down into the area that we talked about for Shiba Inu. Bounce off that 89 100-day period moving average. Now, this is going to be really key. If we start to pick up volume, which is already starting to happen, we could see this thing continue down to the lower levels, again, to that 1,000 mark area. This is not.
Yeah, Zach just mentioned something important going on with Shiba, but I didn't watch his video of it. He said there was something major news or major something. I got to go back and watch it and find out what the news with Shiba is, or Shib.
Yeah, I'm really looking at that 1,000 mark area here for myself. If we do see a sell-off, this is where I'm really starting to, this is where I want to see it come in at, that 1,000 area again. And then that would be the completion of this, where we would come down, because you had a lot of buyers at these lower levels here. And so BlackRock or whatever would want to stop these people out and then push this up to that next leg, which would be almost the full, that would be the 75 to 67 area as we start to move forward here. So that's it in a nutshell. I just wanted to cut through all the top 10, kind of see what they were doing and how they're doing. So yeah, that's it. And I hope you guys liked it. Meme market gonna go crazy. Yeah, we'll see. Dude, I hope so, man. That's Pat, right? Absolutely, Pat. Crypto Mike, Arian, we were waiting for that.
Pedro, Mike's failing you there at the last minute. Patrick, thanks for joining us the show, gaining us a new viewer. Had a great time today as usual, hosting everything. Pedro, I don't know where your mic went there. But
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. You've made it back. Yeah. We had a good show. We'll be off the air tomorrow. We'll be back on Wednesday for another show. And I'm not sure about the balance of the week because, as they say, I'm here on vacation. But we're glad to have brought you another great show today, from all the way from the beaches of Florida to the coast of Connecticut, where Pedro is. We had a good time. We talked all about the markets, especially the important news coming out of BlackRock with their new build token, in which you can trade it and earn yield on it, which is amazing.
And pay taxes.
And Juan says that he is where did he come from there? He said, I'm Ecuadorian. I'm Ecuadorian, but I have an Italian passport and Spanish as well. I'm a dev on Power to the People. Well, welcome, Juan. I appreciate it. I appreciate it for joining us. And good luck with your Power to the People, and may that and Multiverse and your other projects do well, especially with your partnership with Operation Phoenix and Infinity Swap. But that's all we got for you today on behalf of Pedro Garcia and me. We had a great time here on another episode of DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. Be there Wednesday.
Definitely.
Adios.
Adios, senores.